You're watching a Highwire Media podcast. The first day of free agency is one of the most exciting days on the NFL calendar. Teams are making moves left and right, some expected, others a total surprise. It's like the entire NBA offseason distilled into one wild day that gives every NFL fan a reason to look forward to the month of March. The second day of free agency is also exciting, but in different, way less exciting way, if that makes sense. The second wave of free agent signings aren't necessarily any less important, and a lot of times they turn out to be some of the better decisions a team makes all offseason. But they aren't the page turners that we spent all of Monday getting push notifications. For instance, take the Cowboys' first move of Tuesday, bringing in a defensive lineman who's now played for 4 different teams in his 8-year career. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the team is bringing in former 3rd overall pick Solomon Thomas. Considering how underwhelming Thomas's career looked after going 3rd overall to the 49ers back in the 2017 draft, it's a little impressive that he's heading into his 9th year in the league. He had some slightly more productive seasons with the Jets, setting a career high in sacks with them back in 2023, and putting up 12 of his 18 career sacks over the last 4 years. Despite appearing in at least 16 games in each of the past 4 seasons, Thomas has only started 4 games over that stretch, which gives you a sense of what his role with the Cowboys will probably end up looking like. Not exactly the most exciting Adam Schefter tweet of the offseason. That's kind of how it's gone to Dallas so far. But it's better than nothing. Right? 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 I think. The Cowboys laughably sign a former first-round bust after losing their stud defender. While a bunch of overpaying has happened in the first wave of free agency, the Cowboys hardly spent a nickel. Most teams in the NFL are still shopping on the top of the market, despite clearing nearly $60 million in cap room last week. The Cowboys have apparently moved to the 5th and 6th waves of free agency. That's what their most recent reported signing suggests anyway. The Cowboys have reportedly signed defensive end Peyton Turner, per ESPN's Todd Archer. While Turner has an abundance of upside he has yet to tap into, this is a highly underwhelming response to losing the versatile Chauncey Golston, who inked a 3-year, $19.5 million deal with the Giants on the first day of the legal tampering period. If it's any silver lining, Turner is coming off the best season of his career. He posted 2 sacks, 4 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, 13 pressures, and a 70.8 PFF pass rush grade. The Saints, unsurprisingly, declined his 5th-year option last offseason, as he played a combined 15 games over his first 3 seasons. He tore a ligament in his foot in 2023. Injury required surgery and a long rehab. Continued to bother him this season. There is something to be said about taking a flyer on a former first-round pick. However, this move is a sad continuation of Dallas trying to improve by bolstering the bottom of the depth chart. Signing former Dolphins guard Rob Jones kickstarted that process on Monday. Cowboys are clearly hoping something clicks with Turner, who was born and raised in Houston and played his college ball for the Cougars. Maybe a change of scenery and hopefully a clean bill of health get the job done. But there is little evidence to suggest it will happen. That isn't to say Dallas holds Turner and Golston in similar regards, and it doesn't mean they won't go out and sign another pass rusher. However, this is a very uninspiring response to losing the ascending Golston, let alone to a divisional rival, after you ranked top 3 on the defense in pressures, sacks, and defensive stops in 2024. It is hard to be encouraged by Dallas's initial signings of free agency. And unsurprising, Cowboys were caught sleeping as the Falcons splurged on a star defensive end after their Peyton Turner deal. The Dallas Cowboys have not made a splash in free agency since they signed cornerback Brandon Carr on the first day of the new league year in 2012. While signing free agents is far from the only pathway to success in the NFL, and over a decade has passed since Dallas's last marquee signing, which does not include in-house extensions, underlines why they have not made it past the divisional round since 1995. Jerry Jones is predictably shopped on the margin since the legal tampering period opened on Monday. That continued into day 2 when the team signed defensive end Peyton Turner, former first-round pick of the Saints, who has been limited to 3 games in 4 seasons due to injury and has struggled to produce when healthy. While an intriguing flyer with untapped potential, there are a myriad more proven pass rushers still available. One of them came off the board as the Turner news broke. The Falcons reportedly signed Leonard Floyd to a 1-year, $10 million contract just hours after he got released by the 49ers. The move reunites Floyd with head coach Raheem Morris, who was his defensive coordinator with the Rams for 2 seasons. It's not the least bit surprising that Dallas bypassed Floyd, but he is exactly the kind of player this roster needs. The Cowboys lost Chauncey Golston on the first day of the legal tampering period, arguably a top 5 player on the defense in 2024, and he signed a 3-year, $19.5 million contract with the Cowboys' rival Giants. It is also far from a guarantee that DeMarcus Lawrence returns. While Floyd is not the run defender that Golston and Lawrence are, he would provide a need pass rushing juice opposite Micah Parsons. The 32-year-old has logged at least 8.5 sacks in each of the last 5 seasons, including combined 20 the last 2 years at age 31 and 32 respectively. He also has not missed a game in 7 years, making him one of the most durable players at his position. And yet, Dallas opted for a reclamation project in Turner, whose 2 sacks last season with New Orleans were a career best. As of this episode, the Cowboys' defensive room consists of Parsons, Turner, former second-round pick Sam Williams, who's coming off a torn ACL and has been a situational pass rusher in his career, and Marshawn Kneeland, who is still developing as a pass rusher. There is still plenty of time to add to it. Including the draft, but the Floyd and Turner moves, breaking within minutes of each other, is a sad summation of this team's effort to improve the roster in free agency. Cowboys insider confirms the fans' Rico Dowdle fears after the Javonte Williams signing. Stop us if you've heard this before, but the Dallas Cowboys have not put the pedal to the metal in the first wave of free agency. To add insult to injury, they have lost multiple key players on the defensive side of things, including Jordan Lewis and Chauncey Golston. The Cowboys got the ball rolling ever so slightly on Tuesday, agreeing to terms with veteran defensive lineman Solomon Thomas, who projects as Osa Odoizi's backup at the 3-tech position, and extending special team star Kevontae Turpin to the tune of $18 million over 3 years. Their most notable move thus far is the signing of running back Javonte Williams, former Broncos second-round pick, who is highly touted coming out of North Carolina. Williams signed a 1-year deal up to $3.5 million, which all but confirms Dallas will draft a running back in April. Also leaves room for a potential Rico Dowdle reunion, given how much cap room they have lying around. Unfortunately, though, Dowdle seems to be a goner. Jane Slater of NFL Network is hearing that Dowdle won't be back. She fully expects the Cowboys to add to their backfield in the draft, but called Dowdle's likely departure unfortunate, given the spark he provided to the offense, particularly in the second half of the season. David Moore of the Dallas Morning News has heard similar whispers. The team regards Williams as a comparable talent to Dowdle and more cost-effective. Even though Williams costs pennies on the dollar, Dallas has completely flipped how they value running backs after the Ezekiel Elliott extension blew up in their face. It is highly doubtful they want to pay 2 veteran backs, and Dowdle could command as much as $6 to $8 million per year on the open market. Rico deserves a cash in after he broke out this season to the tune of 1,079 rushing yards and 53.6 rushing success rate that ranked 6th among starting running backs. The incoming draft class being historically deep only increases the odds that Dowdle leaves. The Cowboys are well positioned to take a running back at pick number 44 or number 73 in the third round. While the front office got Williams at a great price, it is fair to ponder if they should have acquiesced to Dowdle's market. Williams may have more pedigree as far as draft status and career rushing yards and touchdowns, but Dowdle is the superior player. Just like Lewis and Golston, Dowdle's eventual departure is going to sting. The Cowboys finally do something right in free agency with Cavante Turpin's contract. After a start to free agency once again marred by inactivity and smaller moves, the Cowboys finally showed they are willing to make moves that keep this team competitive by investing in all-pro returner and speed demon Cavante Turpin. After being relegated to indoor football, whatever fan-controlled football was, in European leagues due to troubles in college, Turpin rode USFL stardom to a stint with the Cowboys. His extreme speed has made him a valuable special teams weapon who is gradually getting a better role in the offense. While Dallas can often be hesitant to pay big money for external free agents, Jerry Jones has consistently invested in some of his best players. Turpin is the next one in line, as he proved to be more than just someone who can run fast during his Cowboys tenure. The Cowboys have agreed to a 3-year deal with Turpin that will pay him $18 million. The deal is a nice chunk of change for the skinny TCU alone, as he now becomes the highest paid special teamer in the league. After 2 Pro Bowls in 3 years, Turpin was worthy of a payday. Turpin had both a kick return and punt return touchdown last season. Turpin amassed over 1,000 yards on returns on both punts and kicks, all while leading the league in both kick return yards and average length per return. Simply put, he was the best in the NFL at his position. While Turpin's size limitations will likely prevent him from ever becoming a full-time starter at wide receiver, he played more of a role on offense in the 2024 season than he had previously. Turpin caught 31 passes in 2024 and amassed more than 500 yards from scrimmage on both receptions and jet sweep runs. The Cowboys need to keep adding to their wide receiver room this offseason, but keeping Turpin in tow is the type of move this roster needed. Not only does it keep their special teams at an elite level, it shows that even if you're not a star player, Jones and the front office are willing to reward internal development success stories. Turpin has proven to be a game-changing weapon when his speed is utilized properly, and the Cowboys knew what a mess their special teams would be without the threat of number 9 scaring opposing coverage teams. And our next topic, the Cowboys' Micah Parsons has a stunned reaction to the rivals' huge offensive line trade. The Dallas Cowboys continued their time-honored tradition of doing absolutely nothing to start off the NFL's annual free agent frenzy. The big move they made was bringing back long snapper Trent Sieg, which is about as inconsequential a move as one could make in the early hours. While the Cowboys ran it back and watched nickel cornerback Jordan Lewis leave for the Jacksonville Jaguars on free agency, the Commanders fixed one of their biggest issues by trading away 4 NFL draft picks over the next 2 years to acquire Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil from the Houston Texans. Parsons not only had to sit through Washington going all in while Jaden Daniels is on his rookie deal, but he now has to go up against Tunsil twice next season and every year beyond that. Parsons, like many Cowboy fans, is not a very happy camper right now. Parsons' what the fuck tweet after the trade summed up the feelings of a fan base who is growing increasingly irritated with a front office that is openly refusing to make win-now moves and build this team up. 2025 could be a long year if Jerry Jones keeps operating this way. Dallas now has a big hole in their secondary that needs to be addressed, all while their running back and wide receiver rooms remain extremely thin. Dallas's penny smart ways could prove to be a duller foolish as they struggle to compete for championships again. Parsons, who himself can be coming up on a new contract that may bring him into conflict with the Dallas front office, now has to shoulder an even bigger defensive load while nearly one quarter of his schedule comes against arguably the two best teams in the NFC. What a masterclass this year has been, Jerry. Parsons will likely see his concerns alleviated in the next few days if the Cowboys make some sort of move that will help establish them as a contender. But Jones' recent inability to pull off the same big acquisitions and trades that made him a household name could make it tough for Parsons and fans to feel confident in the direction this franchise is heading in. Unless the Cowboys can pull a rabbit out of somewhere in the near future, Parsons may be left once again wondering how this team plans to surround him with talent in the near future. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode. If there's anything I missed, anything you agree with, don't agree with, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you like this content, give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And if you want to support the channel in a financial way, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thebigd. Everything you give goes right back into this channel. With that, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.